My name is Balingit, and I'm a general manager in one of the business in the wholesale industry.
So my name is Marielle Cornell, and I'm an influencer, or otherwise known as a blogger.
My name is Sarah Jung, and I am an entrepreneur. As We Dwell, we are a co-working space for creative, but what that means is I'm somebody that believes everyone is creative, so anyone that walks into this space, if they feel like it really resonates with them, we invite them to be a part of our dwelling place. And it's where creative ideas, creative collaborations, and things can come and happen.
17 years, yes.
August 2012 is when I established it. I didn't start taking it seriously until maybe two years ago.
For about 2 years, I went from an educator to an entrepreneur.
Way back in the Philippines, when I was one of the politicians there, I helped a lot of poor people and my constituents, and at the same time sick people, like having them good treatment in the hospital, and I like to do those stuff. That's a big accomplishment for me.
Maybe putting together my first blogger event, because that to me was a culmination of all the networking I've done and putting it together with not just only on the brand aspect but also on the blogger aspect. So that was, I posted my first smorgasbord crawl in which I brought together all my favorite influencers. I hooked them up with watches, and then we just stopped at a bunch of different booths. And ever since then, some of the booth owners or the restaurant owners, they stayed in contact with me, and it was just kind of interesting because it really tested me, and it also set the tone for what was going to happen in the future.
The project that was the most significant would be building in this space. I signed the lease December 2nd, and I just really felt like I wanted to make sure that the doors opened within the month. So I felt like it was such a huge accomplishment to build out and furnish everything within a 1-month time frame. So yeah, I think that's probably my most memorable, and I think just something that I'll always just cherish about starting As We Dwell.
Me having to compare myself to other bloggers, there's always going to be someone, I think this is a quote, don't know where, there's always going to be a girl who's smarter, prettier, and nicer than you in the industry. So if you're not the smartest, prettiest, nicest girl in the industry, then you're not that girl. And for me, I just feel like that's what really motivates me to get through those moments of doubt and through those moments of, I guess, comparison, where I feel myself trying to undermine myself. If that makes sense? Mm-hmm. But I think that's probably the biggest challenge. I think the reward eventually would be when I overcome that, but as long as I doubt myself, the more I'll feel motivated. So it's kind of a double-edged sword in that aspect.
managing the financial aspect of running a business. I'm somebody who's a visionary, so I have ideas and I think really big. With finances, it requires a lot more detail. And I reached a point when I realized that I may have to shut as we dwell down. That was like spring of last year. It was really, really challenging for me persevering and believing in my dream. And so here I am. A year later, doors are still open.
With my opinion, they treated like equally.
There's two sides to that. I really feel like because there's a male dominated industry, there's always going to be people who doubt women's capabilities. There's always people who aren't going to think that women can do things by themselves. They don't think they're capable of running things on their own because they're too emotional. On the other hand, women are very much celebrated, in which girls like Jen M with a clothing line on like Forbes, you know, we have women like the Gray Layers, Jean Grey. We have all these women who are using their platforms or starting their own companies and doing their own thing with so much respect. So, you know, I think there's scrutiny from the other end of the spectrum, but there's also the other side that does very much respect and treat women, especially entrepreneurs, very well.
I personally believe that I've only received so much support and encouragement from people as a woman entrepreneur. It's just been such an amazing experience that so many people are just so encouraging and so supportive.
On my career, I thought by myself what I'm doing in my career right now and where I work, and at the same time, to become a general manager, you need to have the full knowledge and everything what's in the company, the operations. So I thought by myself and learn everything, and I'm sharing those knowledges to all our employees. Comes to sales, to the payroll, and human resources.
Definitely Justin, my boyfriend. That's like the first person that comes to mind, of course, because he's there holding my hand every single step of the way. When it comes to us brainstorming, when it comes to our creativity, everything that is Polydo is a fragmentation of me and his ideas put together. For moral support wise, obviously my parents, my siblings, my friends, they all understand what I do. They all understand the struggle of why I do the things that I do, and they're always there to reaffirm what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling, and it makes me feel all the much more confident and all the much more better to go and keep pursuing what I'm doing, because I know that they'll always be there.
Dedication, you need to have a commitment. What do you want to be, to reach the goal that you want to have in your life.
There's never such a thing as the right time. The right time is always now. So if you're waiting for the right time, if you're waiting to get a new camera, if you're waiting to do this, then it's not the right time. The right time would be now. If you don't go and start immediately, you're never going to be able to succeed with that idea.
That before you really decide to pursue something really big, is you have to know yourself pretty well. You have to really be willing to do a lot of self-assessment and knowing your capacity to be able to handle things. Being really mindful of like the choices that you make and so forth. So yeah, being very self-aware and mindful.